guys. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Hope you all are doing well. I wanted to jump on here, talk to you a little bit about the full moon that is coming in Cancer starting tomorrow. I'm super excited. I put together the telescope with the kiddos yesterday, and we're all very excited to try it out hopefully tonight and tomorrow night, depending on if the skies are clear or not. I always have a hard time during full moons. I always, the energy around the full moon is really intense, right? And it just heightens your intuition and your emotions, and it's always, I have a hard time sleeping. Like being an empath, just being able to take on energies very easily, and when emotions and energies are high, escalated, it's just very affecting for me. Not necessarily in a bad way, it's just I can't sleep very well. And if you can imagine, I tried to get pulled to the 5D normally, but when the full moon is happening, it's intense. If you can imagine how the full moon raises the tides, it raises the energy body, it raises the vibration, it raises your intuition and your emotions, and it's definitely a thing. And coming from the world of especially, being in nursing, and when I would work the overnight shift, and some fucked up shit would happen over a full moon. It's a thing. It's no joke. Just weird shit on the overnight shift in the nursing homes during the full moon. Yeah, so this full moon is in Cancer, and Cancer is all about family and nurturing and the home and finding your tribe, and just, which is interesting to me because I've been really being drawn to discover more about the divine feminine and connecting with that side of myself, and that's what all about being a divine feminine is about, right? It's about being the mother, being nurturing, being forgiving, being compassionate, finding your creative side, and that's all Cancer. Which is, nothing is a coincidence, right? I don't find it ironic at all that for the past few weeks, my intuition has been telling me to dive more into that, and come to find out, the full moon's in Cancer, which is all about the divine feminine, and the moon itself is the feminine energy. The sun is masculine, the moon is feminine. It all ties into each other. Also, when there's a full moon, I love astrology, and when there's a full moon, obviously the sun and the moon are opposite of each other. It's a duality. Astrology is a lot about oppositions, dualities, and the sun is in Capricorn still. And so what a full moon represents is it can essentially, it's a shining a light on things you need to release, things that are no longer serving you, what works, what doesn't work, and just recognizing that and working through it, through your own journey. And so the sun being in Capricorn and the moon being in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It's very emotional. It's very feminine. It's very watery. It's all about the home and family and love. And and Capricorn is very work oriented. It's an earth sign. Work, balance, stability, drive. So, you know, with the full moon being in Cancer and the sun being in Capricorn, it's about balancing the two. It's about balancing work life and balancing home life and finding that happy medium. Are you working too much and neglecting your emotional side? And are you, too emotional and concentrating too much on relationships and not balancing your work life? So it's interesting to me how nothing surprises me anymore. And it's almost like, it's like my day to day, how things come into alignment. And, I'm constantly being guided and shown signs and synchronicities. And, so this morning, my whole weekend essentially was all about my home life and hanging out with the kids, and it was amazing. We had so much fun. We put together the telescope, we watched movies, we watched football, we played, oh my gosh, what is that board game? Both the Boys Beat Me, which, if you guys know me, I'm very competitive, so I was just like, what? Ticket to Ride. It's such a fun game. It's a cute game. I just got it for them, and it was the first time we played it. Now, they had played it before, and of course my oldest, like, completely, I don't know, he's so funny. He, like, purposely didn't tell me that I could, like, use connecting trains to get to different cities, and completely schooled me. And so next time I know better, and I'm probably gonna win. I'm hoping I'm gonna win. But they both beat me, and it's called Ticket to Ride. It's really cute. If you haven't checked it out, and if you have kiddos, it's a really fun game. So we just spent a lot of family time together, and it was amazing. And I'm just so blessed and appreciative and thankful, grateful, just staying in that energy of gratitude. I might not have a lot, but I have a lot, if you know what I mean. So, it's like, what is your abundance? Your abundance, especially sitting in this Cancer full moon, your abundance is your home. Your abundance is your family, and just recognizing that and being appreciative of it. And if you're single, and if you don't have kids, or if you don't have family close, and if you're just kind of alone, then it's about nurturing yourself, right? Like caring for yourself, nurturing yourself, doing what best serves you and your highest good, and releasing and recognizing what doesn't. That full moon illuminating that for you. What else? The nodes are changing. So North Node, South Node are shifting into Taurus and Scorpio. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and the North Node is lessons that we have come into this lifetime to learn, and the South Nodes are what you already know and what you've already brought and are good at and learned from your previous lives. That's your South Node. And the South Node in Scorpio, if you think of tarot, the death card is Scorpio, and the death card doesn't necessarily mean death, like you're dying, or death is like death and rebirth, right? Releasing old baggage and healing healing karma. What is your unfinished business? What is your inner childhood wounding that you need to work on? What are some karmic lessons that you need to recognize and learn? And releasing old baggage, and recognizing and releasing things and people necessarily in your life that don't serve you, that don't raise your vibration, that are toxic. And Taurus, being in Venus, right? It's all about forgiveness and love and being of calm and peace. And so it's balancing those two things, right? So there's death and rebirth, and then there's love and peace. And so that's north and the south node shifting into Taurus. So that's exciting. Venus in Taurus, and Taurus being in the north node. In death and rebirth. So kind of, I don't know, think about that. Like, is there old relationships that you need to release and you need to have a rebirth and a new start? Could be. So this morning, like I was saying, like nothing surprises me. Everything lines up, synchronicities. One of them, I was able to meditate a lot this weekend, which I obviously always love, but I found it so funny. I went into this meditation yesterday afternoon, and I was brought to my garden that I go to a lot, be brought to a lot in meditation. And when I was in my garden, a lot of times, clairvoyantly, I will see a tree, and this tree is very specific, and I have always wondered why this certain tree would come to my mind. And speaking of Cancer, like being in creativity, like you need to try and embrace that and be more creative in your life. And so I love to paint, so I was like, man, you know, I have all this stuff. I really should get back into it. And I just want to paint this tree that comes to me clairvoyantly a lot. But it came to me in meditation, and it was in my garden, like the garden that I go to a lot. I was with my master guide, and I looked towards the garden, and it essentially, like from a seed, sprouted up through the ground and just grew into my tree that I see clairvoyantly. And my guide was like, that is the compassion tree. That is like essentially the tree of the divine feminine, like compassion, self-love, nurturing, caring, forgiveness, and it was just like one of those aha moments. Like, it was so, you know, going back into meditation, when I go back to the garden, I'm assuming it'll just always be there now. So the compassion tree gives me chills, guys. And yeah, so I'm hoping to bust out my paint and try and attempt to paint it, because it's so beautiful. And it has these like pink flowers. It looks like a willow, essentially. It looks like a willow tree, but then it has these like pink flowers that are on the vines, like bright pink. And they almost look like a hibiscus flower, which is so weird because my youngest one asked to watch Moana last night, which, God, Moana. Yeah, I feel like that's it makes me cry every time. Like, I get goosebumps every time, and I get activated empathically every time I watch it. It just resonates with me. It like calls to me. It's like, oh my God, like, is that my story? Like, what is going on? Like, why am I so activated by this movie? And I mean, Gaia's in it, right? It's so weird. But anyway, in the movie, of course, she has a pink flower. And like, I was just like, oh, it's my flower on my tree. Anyway, I know I'm just kind of like all over the place today, because like there's so much that goes on with me that is like, no joke, fucking weird. Not weird, but would be to most people. Anyway, after my meditation and after the compassion tree, and I come out of meditation, and I was called to do a read for myself, and Love Messages Oracle, when I did my read out of my meditation yesterday, one of the cards was express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. And he has a pearl for her. And it's just interesting how, Cancer is all about water, and the sign of Cancer is the crab. And look, like, they're in water. They're obviously like mer people, right? And he has a pearl, and pearl is one of the mystical birthstones for Cancer. So I find that resonating, how we are going into the full moon of Cancer, water sign. Cancer is all about water, and the sign is the crab, and one of the birthstones for Cancer is pearl, and the card I drew out of meditation yesterday, shocker, but not really. I saw, and so anyway, this morning, that was yesterday, this morning, when I woke up, of course the kids don't have school today, Martin Luther King Day. I had to work, so lined up a babysitter for them. She texted me this morning and said that they're sick and she can't watch the kids. Okay, so I'm working from home, but I didn't have my laptop. So I had to go get my laptop from the office. Okay. And I was thinking about the full moon, and I was like, just because I'm just so activated around this time, and I'm just kind of constantly being like, my energy body is being heightened periodically, and I had to wait for my youngest to wake up so I could bring him with me to go get the laptop. And it was just interesting how, the babysitter's sick. I have to go get the laptop. I get in my car to go get the laptop, and I pull out, and the moon, it's not full yet, but holy cow, you guys, it was huge. And I just was like instantly, like, almost to the point where I was just like shaking. And like, we just stopped in the car, and my youngest pointed it out. Like, I was like, whatever, like, and he's like, Mom, look at the moon. And I like looked, I was like, you know where I go when we're dancing. Holy cow. Like, wow, it was so amazing. And it was just right before it went behind the mountains, and like the sunrise was like all pink, and it was just amazing. And it just worked out how we literally left the house to go get my laptop because I'm working from home, and I was able to see it right before it went behind the mountains. After getting the laptop, I was driving home, and I saw a car past me coming home, and on the license plate was 111, which, as you know, as I see angel numbers a lot. And so 111 is new beginnings in love, in luck, in life. It's divine guidance. It's like, pay attention. You are being divinely guided. Spiritual awakening. So I wanted to pull from the Angel Oracle deck. If you don't do a full moon ritual, I highly recommend it. I always set out moon water the night of the full moon for the water to be charged by the moon energy, and then I fast, and then I drink the water straight away when I wake up. I also do a full moon meditation. I have full moon incense, and I do a tarot read after the meditation with the incense. And again, it's all about illuminating things in your life that no longer serve you, releasing old baggage. Yeah, so if you don't have a full moon ritual, check it out. Find one that works for you. It's such a great time too, because the full moon activates your intuition and inner guidance and your higher self. So it's a great time if you haven't started a meditation practice. During a full moon is an amazing time. Okay, so let's see where the angel messages go. I have my moonstone. I always meditate with the moonstone during, obviously, the full moon meditation. Sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. I just love how the full moon is going to be in Cancer. The moon is the divine feminine energy, and the sign of Cancer is all about nurture and love and home and family. It's just all tied in together. It's just so amazing. And it's also like the moon itself, like each moon has a name that the Native Americans named them for specific reasons. And this is the wolf moon. And if you can imagine, like, what are wolves known for? They're packs, right? Like your pack, your tribe, your family. And it's also about, like, you know, they named it the wolf moon because of being in, this is winter, obviously. And because the nights are so, like, crisp and cold, like, they could hear the howling of the wolves so clear. And so they named it the wolf moon. You know, the divine feminine is all about, you know, joy too, like bringing joy and peace and happiness towards your family, towards your loved ones. And if you can imagine, like, what is winter? Winter is kind of cold and dark, and so being comforting and bringing that joy to yourself, to your loved ones during this full moon, and bringing them and yourself out of the dark, out of the cold, like shining your light. It's all about the divine feminine. It's just so interesting. Everything's connected. The sooner you recognize that, the better off you're going to be. All right, let's see where this goes. One, like, that's new beginnings. That's spiritual awakening. That's like, if you can think of cycles, like ending of a cycle, starting of a new one. And what are moons? Moons are cycles. And full moons, like ending of a cycle. say my compassion tree, like, and I cut the deck. And like being surrounded by all that green. I mean, she seems like the divine feminine to me. Compassion, love, forgiveness, nurture, home, family. It's crazy. I cut the deck, and that's what it. I mean, it's, why do I like? I always say that, I'm like, oh, that was crazy or that's weird, but really nothing is to me. North Node moving into Taurus too, and Taurus, Venus ruling Taurus. Venus is all about love, and in tarot, the Hierophant is the marriage card. Marriage, commitments. Doesn't have to be marriage. It can be just being commitment. And Taurus is the Hierophant, which is commitment, which is ruled by Venus, which is love. So just putting that out there for anybody who needs that message. I love that I get to stay home with my boys today. My little one, he is my little mini-me. And, mystics, empaths, heightened abilities, they are passed down. And I swear, some of the stuff he says, he's very, into the planets. He's like a very spiritual little guy. Like, sometimes I look at him sideways, like, with some of the stuff he says or recognizes, and I'm like, and kids are, specifically heightened with that stuff, right? He's my little Leo, my little fire sign. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Sorry, guys, this was... I got this card the other day when I was talking about the Hermit card and how, with the lantern. I mean, cards will come up for a reason. Again. See, he's got his lantern, learning experience. And he looks like he's being illuminated, really. I mean, obviously he is with the lantern, but if you think of the new moon coming, and that illuminates things that you need to release, let go of, heal from. What have you learned from them? You go through those things for a reason. What did we learn? And that's spiritual growth. Inner peace and a sense of security come from overcoming hardships. Without the challenges that life has presented to you, you wouldn't be the person you are today. This is a time for you to reflect on the incredible strength you have. No matter what has gone wrong for you, you have made your way through the darkness and into the light. Illuminated. When this card appears for you, your angel guide is inviting you to ask yourself, what have I learned from this? This card represents the teacher you have within And through integrity and connection, you will be able to find a message within the mystery. If you are still facing challenges, you are being encouraged to keep going and trust that the worst will soon be over. The light at the end of the tunnel is you. All right, guys, those are the messages for today. I'm sure I'll jump on here and do another one. Full moon, day after the full moon. But yeah, learning experience. Illuminate your light within, shine brightly, and have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.